Hi, welcome to Fin, and today I'm with David Stewart from Wyman, Management Consultants, who's going to talk to us about the MRO network in Europe and the threats, opportunities and his forecast. So what are you seeing really as a forecast for MRO?
Well, we're actually in sort of reasonably good health and sort of almost rude health times. You've got to sort of understand the underpinning of this marketplace. So the fleet has been growing year on year for probably a good sort of 4 or 5% for many years. We're in a super cycle. I mean, typically on aircraft deliveries, the cycle is 7-8 years long, and now we're in a 13-year super cycle. So the airlines are making money, and therefore that flows down to the supply chain, including MRO. So our numbers show a fleet growth over the next 10 years of around about 3% per annum. So it's going to grow to sort of somewhere 36,000 planes over the next 10 years. And then the MRO market, 77 billion today, over 100 billion in 10 years' time, growing at a slightly higher rate of 4%.
Okay. What trends are we seeing in terms of technologies or methods?
Yeah. The key trends, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. We do a survey every year about what worries the supply chain the most, if you will. So that goes across OEMs and MROs and distributors, etc. The number one kind of thing that they're talking about today, and we'll talk about it later, is the OEMs. The OEMs are taking a much more active role in the aftermarket. That's been the case for the engine market for a long time. GE and Rolls-Royce and Pratt & Whitney make most of their profits and margins in the aftermarket, and depending on how old the engine is, they get anything from 40% of the market share to 90% of the market share. The component OEMs have woken up to that a few years ago, and now the airframers, Airbus and Boeing, have both announced significant strategies to say they're going to grow their services strategy. And those announcements mean they're going to be growing well above market rates. So that means they're going to grab share from somebody somehow, some which. Boeing, they've got a goal of $50 billion by 2025. Airbus, it's $10 billion by 2025. So what are they going to do to that, and how is that going to impact the rest of the supply chain is a key trend. Next one is, and this is less a trend, it's in the DNA of the industry. Airline yields decline year on year, just because you can get a cheap price on a click of a mouse, so to speak. So the suppliers have to reduce costs. We've got increasing material costs, we've got increasingly a labour shortage, both actually not just for maintenance mechanics but for pilots as well. So how can you resolve those material cost increases and labour shortage? Last but not least, and it's a new one that's kind of come onto the radar screen from our annual survey, is cybersecurity. And the extent to which the industry is prepared for cybersecurity. We know how these hackers are becoming more commonplace, and actually sometimes the damage they can do is significant, and there's a certain lack of preparation in cybersecurity across the industry.
David, thank you very much.
All right.
Now, for more stories like that, go to wearefin.com.